Hey everyone, welcome back to Incurable Optimist. Once again, I'm your host Karthik, and in this episode, we are going to break down the goals we must have that are going to help us generate the positive kind of emotions from us, because that is exactly what we want. Because if you are setting goals which do not bring out the positive emotions from you, then you are eventually not going after the right kind of goals. So the point is to go after the goals which bring out the positive emotions from you. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about in this video. So stay tuned. So now what I want you to understand is the fact that there are two kinds of goals. First is the kind of goal that we create out of desperation, and the other kind of goal is the goal that we create out of inspiration. Now, first, I'm going to talk about the goals that we create out of desperation. Though, what are those kind of goals that we create out of desperation? We create those goals when we're trying to find a means to end something, to end our being broke, to end miserable state of living, to end something that could probably just bring us into that fairyland, that world of absolute peace, harmony, ecstasy. I don't know what it is, but whatever your reason is for creating that goals out of desperation, you all are trying to end the means to your state of affairs. You're all trying to just do that thing for a while and then go back to your freedom or whatever that you are chasing. But eventually, the goals that we create out of desperation are the kind of goals that eventually making us more destructive than we were, rather than if we had not created any goals for us. So the point is not to have those destructive goals for us. So instead, we would suggest that we would rather have the other type of goals, which are goals which are more desirable for you and which actually generate the kind of positive feelings from you when you think about something that you want to do. If you want to, let's say you want to be a painter, and that's exactly the life goal that you want to have for yourself, because you want to make that your career as a painter. Let's say that you have dreams about painting, and you do actually paint when you're not painting. Even in your dreams, you're like doing those things. So that's the kind of inspiration, that's the kind of goals that we must put forth for ourselves that could actually help us bring out our creativity from us, which means that the goals that we set must come from our inspiration and not from our desperation. That means the goals that you create should be more creative. That means that your goals should bring out your creativity, should somehow bring out the creative abilities in you that could help you generate those goals, and that can actually help you manifest those goals quicker, because you can actually manifest your goals way more quicker when they are more aligned with the person you are, the things that you like to do. And that's how we can actually go ahead and create an end to all means, which means that goals that we create out of inspiration are an end to all our means. That means that we are filled with everything we want, and now we are going ahead and having this goal because we realize the fact that we have everything, and still we want to go ahead and do this because of the fact that we love it so much. That's the first question you have to ask yourself, that are my goals something that I would love to still pursue even after I achieve them? Because that's the part which will help you realize the fact that that's where you really are meant to be. That's where you are really are there for. That's where you are supposed to be. That's your place to be. And that's the kind of goal that will keep on keeping you in that place where you do not need to be afraid of anything. So we need to create our goals out of inspiration rather than from desperation, because the feelings that can be generated out of goals created out of desperation can be negative. What do I mean by negative? So let's say you do not achieve the goal that you have created out of desperation. Let's say you do not achieve it. Let's say you have failed to achieve your goal. You have failed to meet your deadline for your goals. Let's say you just are not feeling it. And what happens is, in that moment, we actually begin to start feeling the feelings of unworthiness. We start to doubt ourselves in life, and what that does is it does more damage to us than we really were. I mean, we were better off without having goals rather than having goals that were created out of desperation. And so what that does is it undermines us, it undermines our abilities, it makes us feel that we are not worth this kind of a life, and we settle for less than what we are. Those are the kind of feelings that get generated. So what do we want? We want to actually not have those feelings. So rather not have those feelings, rather what happens is that in order for us to actually go beyond those feelings, we need to have to work a lot. We need to grow from within ourselves to actually be able to actually achieve those goals. It's not that they're not achievable. The goals that you create out of desperation can be achieved by people that are continuously growing themselves. So it's not impossible to actually achieve them. It's just that if you do not have the capacity to achieve them, that's when things can go downhill for you. So what we want is we want to create goals out of inspiration. So the feelings that get generated out of having goals created out of inspiration, what happens is we become more driven. Let's say you do not achieve your goals that are created out of inspiration. Let's say you created a goal to be a painter. Let's say you ended up not painting for an entire week, but what happened was you still were productive enough. You did not let yourself down, because you were constantly thinking of a way to come about it. You were constantly making a plan to come about it, because eventually it was in your mind. It was something that was deeply embedded in your mind to actually do what you wanted to do, but it has not yet come alive yet. It's just not, you're not bringing it alive yet, but it does not generate feelings of unworthiness. It does not generate feelings of guilt. It does not generate feelings of sadness or being not capable of having your goal. It's just that you are working towards it. You're not ready yet, but you realize the fact that your goals created out of inspiration will be more long term, and you realize the fact that those feelings will always be positive. And sometimes if there's an obstacle on your way to actually achieving your goal that is created out of inspiration, what's going to happen is it's going to drive you. Let's say you do not find a way to get your art out. Now what's going to happen is it's going to generate some feelings of frustration, that because you realize the fact that you've done all this work, you've created all your artwork, and now you're just not having the ability to bring it out because people are not allowing you to have because you don't have the money or something, or there's something that you don't have in order to get the art out. What's gonna happen is it's gonna eventually drive you. It's gonna drive you. It's gonna inspire you to do something different. You'll go through other channels to actually bring out the piece of art that you have just created. So that's the point of creating goals out of inspiration, because you're always being pushed to be the best version of you. You're always being pushed to be the highest version of yourself when you have goals that are created out of inspiration. That's the point of creating goals out of inspiration and not goals out of desperation. Now, the last thing, once you have finalized what you want to achieve, once you have finalized everything, once you have finalized the fact that this is exactly what I am going to do, make sure that you do that for the rest of your life. Make sure you don't create short-term plans to have this or that and then not do that thing for after once you've achieved it, because eventually what's going to happen is it's not going to help you. It's not going to help the people around you, because eventually you have to find something that would make you want to go ahead and keep on doing that thing for a long time, because that's the point of having the goal. The goal in itself is something that should help you grow yourself from within. That every time you push past a certain obstacle to reaching your goal, it will eventually somehow unleash that power that is within you, that will make you stand apart, that will make you look beyond your current normal understanding of what things are. And that's when growth really happens. Your growth really is happening when you are moving towards your goals, created out of inspiration. So keep on following me on my channel. I'm gonna keep posting new videos every day now, from starting now. So please support my channel. Please support this podcast. Like this podcast, share this channel with your loved ones so they can also see what needs to be done, how we can actually evolve ourselves into unleashing our true potential. And that is the purpose of this channel. That is the purpose of creating this YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching this video today. I'm gonna see you in my next video.